work primarily with major brand advertisers to help them understand how to maximize the impact of their online video efforts. And we're an independent third-party measurement firm, which means that we partner with the largest video sites and video ad networks to give the information back to the advertisers that they need in order to maximize their utilization of video. We're talking a little bit about how video has been evolving, how the use of video has been evolving. Brands have really been taking advantage of online video much more aggressively than they had been doing previously. And so they're exploring ways to not only buy media, so like for example, buying a pre-roll ad across a couple of different sites, but actually being able to design campaigns that maximize the effects of earned media. So viral video spread and sharing among audiences and things like that. So the whole concept of earned media has really been a big trend over the last year or so with video. And so you're seeing this with the top performing ad campaigns that show up on the weekly ad age chart. There's an ad age chart every week that shows the top 10 performing viral ad campaigns, and that's actually powered by Visible Measures. And what we find is that the top performing advertisers really are employing and leveraging earned media a lot. And so they're designing campaigns now that actually are designed to specifically to maximize earned media spread. For example, the top performing ad campaigns of 2009, the Evian babies, the roller babies, was the #1 performing ad campaign, not just of 2009, but of all time. What they did was very interesting. They actually utilized 3 different versions of creative first. They put them out there, and they were essentially trying to understand which creative would resonate most with their audiences. Now this was made for web content, which is very, so it's not repurposed television commercials. And so they took the 3 creative spots, they put them out there, and then they essentially did a very smart strategy with what we refer to as surge media. They were essentially buying, they weren't buying pre-rolls and things like that, they were essentially buying promotional traffic to get people to watch these 3 creatives as a piece of content, and then they were seeing the difference in terms of audience behavior between the 3 creatives. So one creative ended up being the breakout hit. It was the Evian, the Roller Babies one, versus there were 2 other ones. And it got about 14x the amount of viewership organically than the other 2 did. And then they took that clip and they started promoting the heck out of it. And they were able to generate a tremendous amount of earned media. I think they got over 30 million organic or earned media views, which was outstanding. If you have something that is not going to create an emotional response, that's essentially a repurposed 30-second TV ad that's very fact or statistic driven, like for example, like, hey, we've got more horsepower than so-and-so, that's not the kind of stuff that people want to watch online, because online video, for the most part, when the advertisement is treated like a piece of content, I'm not talking about in-banner video advertising or a pre-roll per se, but when video is treated as a piece of content, users vote with their mice and they can choose what they want to watch. And in a case like that, the advertising that works the best is the advertising that performs most like entertainment. So movie trailers, advertisements that feature a celebrity with catchy music, something memorable, emotional responses, things like that work the best online. If you think about, with the sort of macroeconomic environment, with the downturn in spending, people got really tight about their budgets. And so the places where people felt like they couldn't, with a straight face, just go to their bosses and say, hey, we should spend more money here and here, those are the places that suffered. So we saw search do pretty well over the last year or so. Display advertising got hurt. Radio went down, classified ads went down, white page ads went down, but online video went up a lot. And that's because people were saying, for relatively little money, let's move a little bit of money from television, let's take a little bit of money from some of our other, some of the other media mix, and let's deploy some in online video. We can actually demonstrate the power, we can actually connect directly with the consumer. And one of the biggest trends is that so much of the brand perception is now in the hands of the consumer. Consumers are discussing their brands, and so people are tweeting, they're blogging, they're talking about your brand. There's a lot of conversation without the brands even being involved anymore. And video is really the opportunity for the brand to interject themselves into the conversation and be proactive about directly engaging with the consumer. So for these reasons, for the being able to justify the ad spend, for sort of vis-a-vis some of the other types of media, but then also for them to be able to interject into that social dialogue that's already happening. Those are 2 of the biggest reasons we think that the medium has continued to thrive, and it's the fastest growing advertising segment, so we're excited about that.